welcome back to my channel. It's Quinn. Today we're doing something super exciting that I have actually been working on for a couple of weeks. I'm going to be upcycling some of the clothes from my closet. Just a little disclaimer for you all, I am not an expert seamstress. I have basically hemmed a couple pairs of jeans, and that is about as far as my experience goes. Please do not look at this as a tutorial. It's for your entertainment, so you can see how far my minimal sewing skills can get me. So today I have 4 things picked out for you, and let's waste no time. Let's get right into it. So the first project that I decided to do was this little red dress that I got from Abercrombie & Finch my sophomore year for a school dance. It's an extra small, it is way too short, so I decided to make it into a skirt. My original plan was to make it into a wrap skirt, but because that exceeded my sewing skills, I decided to do something a little bit different, but to keep it to a similar style as a wrap skirt. You'll see what I mean when I get into the sewing part. The first thing I did was chop the top of the dress because we didn't need that anymore, and then I pinned the inner lining to the outside of the skirt so that it wouldn't slide around while I was sewing. And that's where I started to get kind of confused. I didn't really know what to do, and that's where my design ultimately changed. I decided to cut straight up the middle so it was no longer a hoop. Then I measured how long I wanted it to be, which turned out to be about 18 inches. This went on for 20 minutes. Left some room for seam allowance, and then I pinned it with way too many pins, but you know, you just gotta make sure everything's gonna stay. I didn't want anything slipping around. Then I threw it under the sewing machine, did a straight stitch. Everything went great. I did the same thing to the 2 sides where I folded them over about 1 centimeter or 2, pinned them, and then put them under the sewing machine. From there, I took the rectangle of fabric that I had, wrapped it around my waist, and then with a pin, marked the spots where I wanted the skirt to overlap. Then, to finish the skirt, I hand sewed some snaps in, 2 sets of them, and it was done. I'm super happy with how this turned out. I honestly think I would have liked it less if I had made it into a wrap skirt. This one is just way more simple and versatile, and overall I absolutely love it, and I've worn it so many times since I made it. I decided to pair it with an extremely overpriced white t-shirt from PacSun and a pair of black motorcycle boots by the brand Fry. On to the next project. For this one, I took a black camisole that I bought from Forever 21 that was just a little bit too long for me. It kind of fell at a weird spot on my torso, so I decided that I would put it under the scissors and crop it, and that's just what I did. This one was pretty simple. I honestly just looked in the mirror, put the pin where I wanted it to be cropped, made a chalk line with some tailor's chalk and a ruler, marked my line, cut it off, and then folded it over.
Look at those hairy legs.
Pinned it, did a straight stitch, and I thought it was all fine and dandy, but then I wore it and it instantly started fraying and shredding because I forgot to double the fabric over. So learn from my mistakes and remember to fold over twice when you have a raw edge and then sew. So I went ahead and did that, and then the top was finished. Even though this one is super simple, I absolutely love it. By just cropping it, it has now made its way into my everyday wardrobe. I have worn this thing like 5 times since I fixed it, and I absolutely love it. I decided to pair it with a pair of straight style jeans from Urban Outfitters and my olive green slip-on Doc Martens. The third project I did was on a white jean jacket from Brandy Melville. I bought this a few years ago and spent way too much money on it because it does not fit right at all. It just looks too big on me, and similar to the last project I did, it was just too long for my torso. So of course, I decided to crop it. I pinned it where I wanted, right below the pockets, and marked it with a chalk line, cut it off, and I used this opportunity to do the TikTok trend from the heavens. I rolled it up and rubbed it like crazy on my carpet and threw it in the washing machine. And man, did that work. It was absolutely amazing. I would recommend this to anybody who's even remotely thinking of trying it. It worked so well. Then while the jacket was in the washing machine, I did some research on some embroidery designs for some inspiration, and ultimately ended up following a YouTube tutorial because I haven't embroidered in a very long time and I wasn't exactly very good at it when I was doing it. And so I decided to embroider 3 little flowers onto the jacket, and that finished it. I really love how this one turned out as well. Cropping it just like the last one made a huge difference, and embroidering the little flowers on it gave it the extra spice that it needed. I will definitely be wearing this more, even though it makes my teeth look really yellow because it's so white. I decided to pair this with a frilly little dress from Tilly's and my strappy Birkenstocks. And my only regret in this entire video process was not taking off my socks earlier before putting on those sandals. The sock mark is so strong. And last but certainly not least, I decided to cut apart my grandma's muumuu. This one was especially sentimental to me because my grandma passed away about a year ago now. I couldn't find it in me to give away the dress, so I decided to make something that I could wear so it wouldn't just sit in the back of my closet. I decided to make it into a 2-piece set, and my original plan was to use shearing so that it would be more form-fitting under the boob area and around the waist, so I wouldn't have to really measure because I didn't want to mess with any of that because I really don't know how to do that. So I put a pin underneath my boobs where I wanted the top to start, and then way down at the bottom of the dress, because it was very long, I put a pin where I wanted the top of the skirt to start, and then basically cut out the middle. I started with the shirt first and I pinned it up and realized that the shearing that I bought would not go through the sewing machine, and after many, you can see it's malfunctioned again, and the top is completely stuck, like the needle's up and she ain't coming out. See what I just pulled out of the sewing machine? A giant knot. What the fuck? Attempts, I decided to just make a channel. So what I did was I doubled the shearing over 3 to 4 times and then tied a knot on the end of the bobby pin. Then I pulled the bobby pin through the channel that I made, tied the 2 ends together, and then sewed the channel closed. And I did the same exact process on the skirt. Unfortunately, this one didn't turn out exactly as I had planned, and it's cute, but I honestly don't know where I'm gonna go in it. It's kind of like, it's just kind of an odd print. I feel like I'd have to wear it to like a Hawaiian themed party or something. I'm not sure I could go out and wear this like in everyday life. I don't know. It's just not my favorite print, to be honest, but I'm really happy that I could at least do something to it to where I could wear it somewhere, versus before it was just way too big on me. And now I can actually wear it. So I decided to pair it with a little woven bag that I got while I was in Hawaii and some chunky espadrille sandals. Overall, I'm super pleased with how everything turned out. It really proved to me that you don't need to go shopping every time you want to find something new to wear. You can make it at home, and then that way you know you'll actually like it and it'll fit you. I would highly recommend trying upcycling for sure. And I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!